Awesome. So now we're going to walk through actually applying for a term loan. Now keep in mind, you don't need to do this to participate in the class, but we want to show you how easy it is to actually apply online. So for this, let's do Skillshare test. Type in a password and get started. So immediately, we're trying to capture sort of a high level of what you're looking for, right? So we've already talked about a specific opportunity that you should have in mind and how much that might cost. So specifically, type in the loan amount you're looking for. Let's assume that it's a $100,000 loan for Haber and Company, and we are a top digital agency in New York City. It's going to help my business, open a new location. And because I believe that opening that new office is going to take, call it 3 years to repay, I'm going to apply for a 3-year term loan. I heard about this class from my friend who is also a designer, so I'll put word of mouth. Just really quickly, you want to type in your full name. You'll type in, maybe I won't put my full personal phone number. Type in your street address, type in your date of birth, your annual income, and here we're asking for your social security number. Now again, offering your annual income and your social security number might look like a lot of immediately personal information, but it's an important way for us to understand your financial history. So specifically with the social security number, we're keeping that data safe, but B, we're connecting into the credit bureaus like Experian and Equifax and pulling what we described earlier, which was your FICO score. So the next phase of the application is actually linking your financial statements. So if you use online products like QuickBooks, FreshBooks, Sage, Xero, you can immediately log into your account and share that data seamlessly. If you don't, we do give you the option to upload your financials directly. So if you use Excel or some other sort of software product, but you don't use an online one, feel free to export that file and upload it directly. We do ask, for which software product you do use, because it helps us prioritize our own product roadmap. So I'll actually log in with QuickBooks because I want to show you how easy that looks. So you just connect with QuickBooks. I'll log into our demo account. And by logging into this account, it's giving us essentially all the data that your accountant might have access to. So your existing cash flow, income statement, balance sheet, without needing to actually go in and prepare all of that data yourself, we're getting access directly to that information from QuickBooks. So keep in mind, we're not actually editing any of this information. We're just getting it for our own analysis. So you just click Authorize. And you're logging into QuickBooks the same way that you might log in, to Facebook or LinkedIn on a third-party site. We do business as Haber Designs. We are a graphic design company. We were founded September of 2005. And one thing to keep in mind is what is your business legal structure? If you're just an individual just getting started, you may want to type sole proprietor. You may have already incorporated, and if so, it's likely an LLC if you're just getting started. And if you're a little bit of a bigger company, a C corporation or an S corporation might be most likely. It's important to ask your accountant or ask your lawyer and have that information handy when you're applying for a loan application because it dictates the types of taxes that you filed in the past. So I'll type C corporation. Here we ask for your EIN. And an EIN is it's an employee identification number. It's similar to a social security number for your business. So the same way we described what a FICO is, your business also has a similar credit score. And so on the back end, again, we're hooking into sites like Experian and Equifax and pulling that full business credit history. And then it's asking, did you file your tax returns from that address listed above? I'll say yes. Because we've already logged into QuickBooks and shared that information, it's extracted annual revenue, which is presented to you here. We pulled a lot more information than just that, but you want to make sure that your annual revenue is accurate or at least directionally correct. If you have an accountant, often it's easier to just share that information directly with us so we can contact him or her to get financials from them directly. In this case, I'll skip that section because I've already prepared all of her financials ourselves. And then the last piece in this page, we're asking for the ownership breakdown of the business, and the title of those different owners. So in this case, I own 100% of the business, but in another case, you might have a partner, right? So let's say Joe Smith is my partner. He is the treasurer of the business. I own 50, he owns 50. And this is important for us because when we're thinking about the financial health of the business, it's also important to understand the financial health of all of the owners. So if you add in a second owner of your business, we'll be sending an email to them asking them to go through that first half of the application where we ask for personal financial information. Typically, in most term loans, and certainly it's true with most bank relationships, there's something called a personal guarantee, where essentially you are committing your own assets to this loan and securing it. And so, in our case, we typically require at least 60% of the ownership to guarantee the loan. Banks often have much more stringent requirements and require up to 100% of the owners of the business to guarantee the loan. We're a little bit more flexible, but it's something it's important to keep in mind and why you should inform your partners in the business that you're applying for debt financing. So this is essentially authorizing us to pull your tax information. So typically at a bank, this would be a form that you would fill out in person and physically sign, and then they would go send it to the IRS to collect your tax filings. Last year, the IRS started accepting e-signature, and so we've created an integration with DocuSign, which you might be familiar with. There's other companies like HelloSign, which allow you to just simply e-sign this form and provide us digital authorization to pull your tax filings directly. So we've already pre-populated a lot of this form with the data we've collected earlier in the application. And you just click, basically 2 clicks, you can sign, and that gives us the authorization we need to pull up to 2 years of your tax filings. The last piece of this application is connecting your business accounts. If you noticed up above, we've tried giving customers insight into the likelihood of approval and their expected rate. It's not something you're going to see in most applications, but we continue to try to provide visibility as early as we can into the likelihood of approval. Deposits, as we described, are an important piece of the application because it gives your lender visibility into the cash flow of your business and the volatility of that income, or this, how smooth it looks. So we've done integrations with 5,000 banks in the country. So most likely any bank that you currently have an account with, we will support. So all the major banks you see here. So here you're essentially using your username and password that you would to log in your account. Keep in mind, we don't have access to move any of your finances. This is simply to give us sort of read-only visibility into the financials of your account. So this last part of the bank authorization is collecting your routing and account number. That gives us the information we need so that when we actually approve the loan, we know where to send the money. So specifically, you can find your routing number, either on a check. Your account number is typically in your business bank account online, or you can go into the branch and ask, for this information. So we're saying, in the event I accept my loan offer, I authorize Bond Street to fund this account and collect from that account, in those semi-weekly repayments. And that's it. You've connected your bank account. And so the last step is essentially just reviewing the application that you've submitted. So, we make it really simple for you to look back on all the different steps of this application and make sure that the information that we collected is accurate. And because it is, I'm going to push submit, and that's it. And so in a few minutes, you've shared all the information that we're going to need to actually make a lending decision. And from here on out, we send that information to our credit team and typically get back to customers, within 48 hours with a decision, or we'll follow up with you to collect additional information we might need to approve the loan.